Maestro, welcome. Let's talk about the final concert of this season.
Final concert of this season.
Which is going to be, I put down word for audience, miss this concert would be dangerous to your health.
Well, it's
because this is a piano festival of the first order.
It is, and it's also, the final appearance of Olga Kern is our artist in residence for this season, who played, in February, just played a magnificent recital. I mean, I've never heard a recital of that caliber that I can remember in terms of virtuosity and difficulty and stamina, unheard of. And then finishing, she already did a ride of things that just was a hell of a ride for piano playing. And then she finishes with Islamé, which is probably one of the most difficult pieces ever written for the piano, and showing no fatigue. It's an amazing.
Well, she's come with a little help to do this two piano Mozart K365, I think. It's
piano concerto
with her son Vladislav
for two pianos, with her son Vladislav, which I think is a beautiful thing that. He's a fantastic pianist to his own rights, and so actually she didn't come to me and say, you have to bring my son. No, she said, my son is a pianist, and I digged a little bit deeper, and he's actually someone really special.
I'm sure it counts.
So I think this is, for our audience, it's just a beautiful thing to see that this gift of piano playing is continuing in the next generation, and to have mother and son play together, that's pretty extraordinary.
Well, here we have this marvelous concert that starts off with a Tchaikovsky's homage to his divine hero. He called him divine, Mozart. With Mozartiana.
Mozartiana, written for the 100th anniversary of
Don Giovanni.
And it's a fantastic piece. I picked it because, first of all, the connection with Mozart is very nice with the Mozart Piano Concerto, but also it showcases the musicians of the San Antonio Symphony and our soloists in an amazing way. There's a whole flute concerto in it. There's oboe and bassoon and violin that take the stage in a great way. So I think it's a fantastic way also to celebrate our musicians in this wonderful concert.
Yeah, and Mozart's Ave Verum Corpus is featured in the Andante.
Yeah,
which is just gorgeous in whether it's sung or performed by.
We've done it in the Mozart Festival, of course. So and then we continue after that
with the real McCoy, Mozart with the Mozart Concerto, the two piano concerto.
Exactly, and then second part of the program will feature again Olga as our artist in residence who plays Prokofiev's first piano concerto, which is a very short piece, compared to other pieces.
Yeah, it's only about 15
minutes, but it's a hell of a ride again, as a piano concerto, like you would expect from Prokofiev. And it's a fantastic piece that is underperformed for the reason that it's too short. So you always have to combine it. So we found this ideal solution of her as in a double concerto, and then the Prokofiev as a showpiece, and then we continue and finish the season.
It's like a bookend. We begin with Tchaikovsky, Mozart, and you end with Tchaikovsky.
We end with Tchaikovsky's symphonic poem on Francesca da Rimini, influenced by Dante Alighieri, which is a fabulous one.
It's lush.
It's very lush. Again, with this enormous melodic range that Tchaikovsky develops, sometimes out of nowhere, sometimes just out of scales. But what's interesting about it, what makes that piece very modern, is its rhythmical structure and it's being haunted. It's you really feel you're being haunted. It's like a thriller movie score in a certain way. It's a fantastic piece. Again, extremely virtuosic for the orchestra, and has really very unusual, especially metric system. This constant hemials and the 6/8 really showing this desperate run, which is kind of amazing. So it's a very condensed, intense piece, and one of Tchaikovsky's most lush and most interesting symphonic poems.
I read where Tchaikovsky visited his paramour in Paris, who was in possession at the time of Mozart's original score to Giovanni in Paris.
Yeah.
Was so impressed with what he saw, already thought highly of Mozart, but then had to turn around and say, I've got to do something about this. This guy is he's from another planet.
Oh yeah.
And for the concerto, the orchestra is really secondary. We hear two pianos just really voicing Mozart.
Well, actually, it's less intense than in the normal piano concertos.
Yeah.
Where the dialogue between so here we are three parties talking to each other because you have two soloists. Sometimes they complement each other. Sometimes they react to each other, and sometimes they oppose each other. Like in a concerto. So the in a certain way, the orchestra becomes the judge of that debate, and it's actually, but it's a beautiful example of this form, the double piano concerto. Earlier we had the Norton sisters coming in for the Poulenc double concerto, which is another amazing piece. Mozart is, of course, the role model. Bach was the first one to write concertos for multiple keyboards, even up to 4. So this tradition continued with Mozart, Poulenc, and Mendelssohn, of course.
Well, June the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd,
yes,
we get to hear this wonderful performance, piano performance and orchestral performances, and I can't recommend enough that you not miss seeing this finale to the season 17-18. Thank you, Maestro.
Thank you, which has been a very exciting season, to tell the least.
I didn't even want to go there.
But I have to say, it went in the right direction, and celebrating, the resurrection with Beethoven 9 and Elgar's cello concerto Beethoven 9 in a sold-out house, was, I think, the right way to go.
We could have done Mahler's second for the resurrection, too, I guess.
We've done that to open the Tobin assembly.
That's right, we did.
The resurrection of, basically, after the building was finished. So, look,
it's going to be exciting 18th season, 18-19.
And the 18-19 season is out, and I think it's again, it shows diversity, and it's an homage also to the city of San Antonio. But you have to be flexible in our world nowadays.
So, the fine arts you got to be flexible.
Yeah, very flexible.
Thank you, Maestro. We look forward to the concert in June.
Thank you.